you how to get stronger and build muscle faster with a simple and effective workout. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification button. The pull-up is one of the finest exercises for developing back and arm muscle mass, along with the push-up. Being stronger at pull-ups will boost your power output with nearly all other body exercises, which is why it is utilized in everything from gymnastics to the Army. It is also one of the exercises used to measure overall upper body strength. However, many people find it difficult to finish even one complete rep, much less several. If you adhere to the 5 simple procedures I'm about to list, you may even go from 0 to 10 pull-ups in a short amount of time. Although pull-ups seem like a straightforward workout, there are several important muscles that the majority of people overlook. As a result, we must first go over basic foundations. Yes, it's important to build up your back and biceps, but you probably aren't aware that if your core is weak, you won't be able to do many repetitions of pull-ups. This is shown in a 2018 study that looked at the muscles that were used most vigorously during pull-ups. The biceps, lats, mid and lower traps, together with the rectus abdominis, often known as the six-pack muscle, were all intensely stimulated, as was expected. The rectus abdominis, however, was even more intensely stimulated than the back or the biceps, which was a significant surprise. The researchers found that when it comes to muscle activation, the abs are really the most active, followed by the biceps, lats, and finally the traps. Thus, having a strong enough core is extremely essential if you want to increase your pull-ups. This held true for every participant, whether they were able to perform a total of 10 pull-ups or not, or whether they could perform more than 10. A progression chart that you can use to build the core strength required for pull-ups is if you can hold each exercise for at least 60 seconds. You'll likely have enough core strength to accomplish 10 pull-ups. The kneeling plank, which is appropriate for novices, is the first type of plank. In this variant, you maintain a straight line with your upper back to your hips to the back of your knees while maintaining the plank position while on your knees. The kneeling side plank is the next exercise, which requires lying on your side while supporting your upper body with one elbow. Once your lower knee, hip, and shoulder are in a straight line, stack both knees on top of one another and lift your hips off the ground. Simply maintain that posture for a total of 60 seconds before switching to a standard plank. You'll advance by performing a decline plank, which includes placing your feet up on a platform and keeping a straight line with your heels to your upper back. After, you can hold each of those positions for 60 seconds each. The only difference between this workout and the plank on knees is that you'll now be standing on your toes. Next, we'll perform the side plank in the same manner. We will maintain this position as we rise to our feet from our knees. The final exercise is the long lever posterior pelvic tilt plank, which resembles a standard plank that calls for you to walk your elbows forward while holding the plank for a short distance. To naturally tilt your pelvis backward, assume that you are attempting to bring your elbows to your feet. These are the exercises I want you to do at the conclusion of each session. You should try to advance through each of these exercises until you can hold a long lever posterior pelvic tilt plank for at least 60 seconds. This is because if you exhaust your core before performing other exercises that rely on it, like pull-ups for example, the effectiveness of those other exercises will be decreased. Step 2 is approaching, so in addition to the isometric core exercises, the main exercises you should concentrate on during the first stage of your pull-up journey are going to be the kneeling lat pull-downs and dead hangs, both of which are excellent for setting the stage for more advanced pull-ups. At that point, you'll likely have enough core strength to complete 10 reps of pull-ups, and if you want to make your core even stronger, you should try to perform a long lever posterior. If you're wondering why you shouldn't perform the lat pull down while seated rather than kneeling, you should know that even while regular seated lat pull-downs are more commonly advised and they can unintentionally produce. The problem is that the evidence suggests there is only a tenuous connection between sitting lat pull-down strength and pull-up effectiveness. One explanation for this would be that when performed while seated, the exercise does not sufficiently engage the core. And as I just said, having a strong enough core is important for performing pull-ups successfully. Oddly enough, kneeling lat pull-downs are not subject to this fundamental limiting constraint. Kneeling lat pull-downs significantly enhance core activation, according to one study. The kneeling lat pull muscle down is an excellent exercise for developing the muscles needed to do the pull-ups, since the activation patterns were the most similar to those of the standard pull-up of all the exercises studied by the researchers. This is especially true for those who are unable to complete 10-fold pull-ups as compared to seated lat pull-downs. As a result, I suggest beginning with 5 sets of 10 kneeling lat pull-downs twice a week if you're having problems with pull-ups. I want you to try progressively increase the weight you're using after you've finished 5 sets of kneeling lat pull-downs. After 3 to 5 minutes of relaxation, I want you to perform dead hangs immediately. Dead hangs include hanging onto a bar for as long as you can, as the name implies. Use a pronated grip with your palms facing away from your body to perform this, since it will improve your ability to complete pull-ups. This exercise will not only help you get better at pull-ups, but it will also help you strengthen your grip, which is often another weak place that can make it difficult for you to complete pull-ups successfully, especially if you're a rookie lifter. You must complete 3 sets of dead hangs for as long as you can. Ideally, you should be able to hang for at least 40 seconds. You should complete the kneeling lat pull-down in conjunction with either dead hangs or scapular pull-ups twice a week for at least 3 weeks before continuing, because this minor additional exercise will increase lower trapezius activation, which will further benefit your pull-up strength as you progress to the next stage, which is to begin performing eccentric pull-ups and inverted rows. Set a bench in front of or adjacent to a pull-up bar, step onto the bench, and then grab the pull-up bar to complete an eccentric pull-up while raising your chin. Don't try to pull yourself back up once you've reached the bottom. Instead, just step back on the bench and continue the required number of reps. I want you to aim for 30 reps on week 1, 40 on week 2, 50 on week 3, and we'll be done with the program by week 5. You can count the movement as 1 rep if you can control the movement and ensure that the eccentric portion of the exercise lasts for at least 3 to 4 seconds. Otherwise, if you lower yourself down too rapidly, it won't be counted as a rep. We'll do this twice a week, and as I mentioned, we'll also perform inverted rows afterward, since they're a great workout for developing appropriate core stabilization and control, as well as for strengthening the muscles used in the movement. The goal is to attempt to complete as many of these reps in a row as you can. Whenever you're unable to lower yourself down slowly enough to count at least 3 seconds, take a break for about 2 minutes before beginning your next set again. Inverted rows are typically simple to comprehend. Simply take an overhand grip on the barbell and roll yourself up until your chest touches the bar to rack it. For the recommended amount of reps, repeat this motion. I want you to proceed to step 4, which is the band-assisted pull-ups, once you finish the first 3 steps I just described. Depending on how high or low you rack the bar, the workout will get easier or harder. This exercise should be done twice a week for 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. The closest thing to a true pull-up you can do is this workout variation. You'll need several different bands with varying resistance levels ranging from very light to very heavy. I'll include a link for a cheap band that you can order from Amazon. However, when you first start, you'll want to start with the tightest band. After you can complete 10 repetitions with that band, move on to the second tightest band for your next workout. After you complete 10 repetitions with that band, and your goal should be to increase the number of repetitions. For instance, if your first step during your previous workout consisted of 7 repetitions, this time around you should attempt to finish at least 8 repetitions. You don't need to pay as much attention to your performance during the other sets. Instead, just focus on finishing as many reps as you can. Remember to give yourself enough time to recover between sets for your best strength and performance on each set. The exact duration varies from person to person, but try to allow at least 2 to 3 minutes. You can progress to the final and most challenging part of the workout, which is to accomplish 10 pull-ups using only your body weight. Once you can complete 10 repetitions with the lightest resistance band, just keep improving like you did during the resistance band phase before. At this time, you ought to be able to perform 5 to 8 reps with your body weight. You might try adding resistance by attaching a weight to your body once you can accomplish 6, 7, and especially 8 reps. Even adding a 10-pound plate can cut your reps from 8 to only 4 or 5. But by being accustomed to lifting the additional weight, you'll get more stronger more quickly, and ordinary body weight pull-ups will start to feel much simpler. So until you can finish, aim to add 1 additional rep to the first set of each of your pull-up exercises. Please click the bell symbol and subscribe to the channel if you like the video. I want to remind you once again that getting stronger and gaining muscle involves more than just your workouts. It also involves what you're eating. I sincerely hope